Welcome to Living History Channel. Be sure to subscribe and like so you don't miss out on more videos like this one.
Radio Soviet began in 1924, with broadcasts starting in 1928. Programs praised the ruling party, followed shifting ideologies, and later used jamming to block Western radio, never fully succeeding. Two Victorian-era travelers in the 1890s pause for a photograph, their formal dress reflecting an age of steam trains, empire, and long journeys. Travel then meant patience, status, and the quiet romance of distance. Cats employed on ships to hunt rodents until the mid-20th century were sometimes issued special passports. These documents recorded their service and identity, and were officially signed not by pen, but with the cat's own paw print. One of history's most infamous quotes, "Let them eat cake," was never said by Marie Antoinette. No evidence links her to it. The phrase appears in Jean-Jacques Rousseau's writings years earlier, attributed vaguely to a great princess, not the queen. Martin Lorello, 1886 to 1955, known as the human owl, amazed audiences by turning his head nearly 180 degrees. A sideshow performer, his strange physical ability made him a legendary figure in early 20th century freak shows. Rare deep-sea fish sometimes wash ashore when storms, currents, or pressure changes force them upward. Disoriented and fragile, they offer a rare glimpse into a world normally hidden far beneath the ocean. This is not a skull. It's a fly infected by cordyceps fungus, which takes control of the insect's body, alters its behavior, and eventually kills it while growing outward in eerie, skull-like shapes. A massive crocodile shot by a hunter in Queensland, Australia in 1957. Measuring an astonishing 8.6 meters, it stands as one of the largest crocodiles ever recorded in the region. Sir Josephine Rosenthal's head, believed at the time to be the mummified remains of the first nun thought to be possessed, was preserved as supposed evidence of demonic influence and religious fear. La Passe Muraille is a famous Paris sculpture inspired by Marcel Aimé's story, showing a man half emerging from a wall, symbolizing imagination, freedom, and the quiet magic hidden within everyday city life. Germany's V-2 rocket was the world's first long-range guided ballistic missile used in World War II. Though technologically revolutionary, it caused massive civilian deaths and became a dark foundation for post-war missile and space programs. On May 6, 1937, the Hindenburg airship caught fire while landing at Lakehurst, New Jersey. Radio reporter Herbert Morrison's shocked narration captured the tragedy, signaling the end of the hopeful era of passenger Zeppelin travel. Born January 31, 1929, Jean Simmons built a six-decade career spanning British and Hollywood cinema. Known for elegance and depth, she starred in Great Expectations, Hamlet, and Guys and Dolls, earning a Golden Globe in 1956. On July 28, 1945, a U.S. Army B-25 bomber, lost in heavy fog, struck New York's Empire State Building. 14 people were killed, yet many survived miraculously. The iconic skyscraper endured, becoming part of history. 1939 saw the creation of an unusual motorcycle designed to conquer rough terrain. With oversized wheels and rugged suspension, it reflected pre-war innovation aimed at mobility beyond paved roads. During World War I, American sculptor Anna Coleman Ladd used her art to heal wounded soldiers. In France, she created lifelike facial prosthetics that restored dignity, work, and hope to men disfigured by war. Tsutomu Yamaguchi was the only officially recognized survivor of both atomic bombings. He lived through Hiroshima on August 6, 1945, then returned home to Nagasaki and survived the second blast, later sharing his testimony with the world. Anne Dvorak, 1911 to 1979, was a fearless pre-code Hollywood actress, celebrated for raw, modern performances like 3 on a Match. Studio clashes stalled her fame, but her emotional realism left a mark on film history. Yuma Musician, Arizona, 1880s. An early portrait of frontier life, where music offered comfort and community in a harsh desert town shaped by railroads, migration, and the fading American West. Barbara Eden and Shelley Fabre in Ride the Wild Surf, 1964, filmed on location in Hawaii. Eden later recalled the shoot as joyful and unforgettable, praising the island's beauty, the ocean scenes, and the freedom of working far from Hollywood sets. Madame Inès de Courcelles, pictured in 1909, was among the first licensed female taxi drivers in Paris, boldly entering a male-dominated profession at the dawn of the automotive age and challenging social norms. They stood ankle-deep in filthy water, unpaid and ignored. In 1883 Montana, 3 sisters gathered proof instead of rage, left silence behind, and walked away with dignity, showing justice can arrive without blood, only courage. Before sailing to Manila, USS Grant saluted Grant's tomb in New York. The gesture marked America's expanding power after the Spanish-American War, as troops headed toward a new and uncertain chapter in the Philippines. Lord Kitchener honors Mir Dast, a soldier of the British Indian Army whose bravery in World War I earned the Victoria Cross. His story reflects the overlooked courage and sacrifice of colonial troops in a global war. The Second Battle of Ypres, 1915, saw Canadian troops hold the line under brutal gas attacks. Lacking proper equipment, soldiers used primitive masks soaked in urine, enduring fear and sacrifice that shaped Canada's wartime identity. Christmas Day, 1896. A family glides through deep snow on a sleigh in Sneffels, Colorado, one of the highest mining towns in the American West, where hardship and joy rode side by side. Harry Houdini, in the early 1900s, faced real danger with chains, locks, and open water. His escapes were not luck or illusion, but discipline, preparation, and calm control. Proof that true mastery shows itself when fear is closest. Bill Murray once wandered into a Scottish student party, mixed drinks, chatted, washed their dishes, snapped a photo, whispered, "No one will believe you," and vanished. Those small, ordinary surprises are why he became a living urban legend. Princess Diana quietly flew to Greece in 1996 to attend the funeral of a young cystic fibrosis patient she had met in London. No cameras, no protocol, just private grief, showing compassion beyond duty and beyond headlines. Helen of Many Glacier Hotel was a Native American telephone switchboard operator in 1925 USA. Calm and precise, she connected calls by hand, symbolizing Indigenous women's vital, yet often unseen role in early communication history. The Sweet Track is a Neolithic wooden causeway built about 3,800 BCE in England's Somerset Levels. Created by early farmers, it formed a dry route across marshland and stands among the world's oldest engineered roads. Television chassis move along an assembly line in 1949 as women workers install and inspect components by hand. Their skilled labor powered early TV manufacturing, shaping a technology that would soon transform everyday life. Giant rock in California's Mojave Desert, aged 65 to 136 million years, was once the world's largest freestanding boulder. In 1947, locals astonishingly hauled a Crosley car onto its summit using ropes and tackle. Patricia Maxwell Sullivan, a 23-year-old Foreign Office typist, died in a 1945 plane crash en route to the Yalta Conference. Her loss reminds us that even history-shaping events carried quiet, human sacrifices. Norman Rockwell's Mermaid or Lobster Man, 1955, captures mid-century American humor, blending fantasy with everyday life. The painting reflects Rockwell's gift for storytelling through familiar faces and playful imagination. Moments before the famous tongue-out photo, Albert Einstein leaves his 72nd birthday party at Princeton, March 14, 1951. Tired of formality, he chose humor instead, an instant that humanized a scientific legend. Sergei Eisenstein, 1898 to 1948, was a Soviet film pioneer who transformed cinema through montage, using clashes of images to create meaning. Films like Battleship Potemkin shaped film language worldwide. U.S. athletes march with their flag at the opening of the first Winter Olympics in Chamonix, France, January 25, 1924. The moment marked the birth of an international winter sports tradition. In 1982, Larry Walters tied helium balloons to a lawn chair and rose to 16,000 feet, drifting into LAX airspace. An absurd but true moment of American folk legend. Jacqueline Cochran rose from extreme poverty to become America's most decorated pilot, breaking the sound barrier and setting over 200 records. She also founded the WASP, training 1,000 women pilots the military once refused to accept. Jane Mansfield and Frank Sinatra pictured together in 1963, capturing a fleeting moment of old Hollywood glamour. By then, Sinatra was an established legend, while Mansfield remained a symbol of bold fame and tragic promise. Leo Tolstoy admired Anton Chekhov deeply as a man, yet mocked his plays. He once whispered they were worse than Shakespeare's. Still, he mourned Chekhov as an irreplaceable giant of prose. Jane Mansfield, 1933 to 1967, was a Hollywood bombshell of the 1950s, famous for glamour, wit, and sharp intelligence. Behind the image, she spoke 5 languages and used fame to challenge stereotypes in a male-dominated industry. Pilot Danny Kaye was instrument-rated and flew aircraft from single-engine planes to jets. In 1962, at Edwards AFB, he became the only civilian to exceed Mach 2 in an F-104 while filming a documentary. Alexander Fletcher, gamekeeper of Glenbucat, Aberdeenshire, circa 1900. He worked the lands below Glenbucat Castle, a Z-plan fortress built in 1590 for John Gordon, overlooking the River Don and guarding the Highland estate. While serving with the U.S. Army's 5th Special Forces Group, Chaplain Hines was killed on December 9, 1969, when his helicopter crashed in poor weather. From Coventry, Connecticut, he left behind a wife and 2 daughters. lest we forget. Two women paused during a bicycle ride near Schenectady around 1900, capturing a moment when cycling offered freedom, mobility, and quiet independence for women at the dawn of the modern age. Queuing for potatoes in Camberwell in the early 1950s reflects Britain's post-war austerity, when basic foods like potatoes and bread were rationed as families endured shortages while rebuilding life after World War II. 832 Squadron of the Fleet Air Arm aboard HMS Victorious, January 1942, during World War II. Naval aviators prepared for combat missions as Britain fought for control of the seas in a global war. Pilot Victor Vizcarra after rescue in Vietnam, 1966. He ejected from his burning F-105 as it fell beneath him into a mountain. The image captures survival, split-second decisions, and the brutal risks of air combat.
Thanks for watching. If there's a forgotten era or photo you want me to bring to life, drop it in the comments. I'm listening.